Hey there. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Kara. I help women overwhelmed in their 9 to 5 get more done in less time so they can spend more time on the things they love. Today, we're talking burnout. I've got 10 strategies for you to beat the burnout that may have crept into your life. But first, let's look at the symptoms that show you are, in fact, burnt out. The warning tales of burnout are everywhere. We hear about the rising star with pressures mounting and demands increasing, who collapses at work due to exhaustion. Or the overdeliverer, that's a word, who lets the growing expectations of perfection lead to multiple colossal mistakes and their eventual firing. Or I'm sure we've all heard an example of the fearless leader who, after years of overworking, suffers one too many panic attacks and turns in her notice, choosing a different life selling tchotchkes on the Maui beachfront. These catastrophic consequences of burnout present themselves in very public ways. With these as our examples, a self diagnosis of burnout is rare. You've never had a publicly displayed mental breakdown, and you're probably just a little stressed, or maybe need a little more sleep, or you're just getting older. It all is normal. Externally, you think you're functioning at your A game, but internally, you might be a wreck. That's how burnout is sneaky, leading you to be amidst the throes of burnout without even realizing it. I call it functioning burnout. It starts with thinking you're getting sick. A little scratch in the back of your throat, a little fatigue, a little brain fog, but it lasts for weeks or months, just lingering. You convince yourself that maybe you just need to be a little healthier. You grab some new vitamins, you fit in a few more workouts, and you start eating more fruits and vegetables. You make some of these changes and really should be at the peak of health, but now you're snapping at loved ones. You're catching a case of the blues that you can't quite shake, and you're feeling less inspired by things that used to fill your cup. You think it might just be your hormones are out of whack, but this cycle continues on as you continue to search for an explanation of what's wrong with you, desperately hunting for a fix. This, my friends, is textbook burnout. So when you realize it's burnout, first comes denial. When you give it a name, burnout, that comes with a lot of baggage. You picture those public meltdowns, still in disbelief that you could be experiencing the same. How could this be you? You who's still successfully running through the motions of each day and successfully doing all the right things. Then comes the hopelessness. If you really are experiencing burnout, you might have to change. And it can feel scary or unrealistic to consider approaching things any differently than you've already been doing, because what you've been doing has brought you external success. So, does this mean that this is just how life is? That you just have to buck up and keep pushing through? I've gone through all of these stages of burnout a couple of times. As I've struggled through my own phases of burnout, there are some important realizations that I've learned. Here's the truth about burnout. Burnout isn't about the number of hours. You can burn out without working overtime. The quantity of hours don't matter. It's about the thoughts and emotions and energy that you have during those hours. Do you feel resentful or anxious or unfulfilled? When you spend endless hours on something that you love, burnout doesn't creep in. But if you spend enough focused hours on something that drains you and leaves you feeling nothing but stress with no upside, that's where burnout thrives. Burnout is about losing control, not just about working hard. Working hard when you feel like you're making progress can be exhilarating. It may leave you exhausted, but it's that good exhausted. That exhaustion that causes you to sleep like a baby and wake up ready to do it again. Burnout sneaks in when you feel like you no longer have control of the outcomes of your hard work. You're on the hamster wheel, unable to see how to get off. Burnout isn't overwhelm. You're not burnt out because you have too much to do. You're burnt out because the things you have on your to-do list aren't meaningful to you. Even if you did get them all done, something would still feel like it's missing. That's where burnout breeds. So there's no pill to cure burnout. And if you've experienced it once, chances are it's going to creep in again. There is no one-size-fits-all fix, and what worked for you before may not work the next time. But you can find a strategy that works. You just have to try a few. So here are 10 strategies to try to help ease you out of burnout. Number 1, Take a vacation. From my experience, a vacation is not a burnout cure, but it can be a good reset if, and only if, you can mentally check out from the real world long enough to gain some new perspective. A vacation is not helpful if you spend the whole time stressing and worrying about what might be falling apart at home, the household chores piling up, the hundreds of emails clogging your inbox, or the irritated coworkers making snide comments at your audacity to take some time away. So try a 3-day weekend. It's short enough that nothing can possibly go that wrong during a quick getaway. Or go the exact opposite. Take an extended vacation. It can take days to be able to fully mentally check out for a vacation. So give yourself long enough to get past the initial stress and anxiety. The goal of a vacation is to take a pause, a reset. Give yourself some space to start to reflect on what you want your life to look like so you can mentally prepare for some change. Number 2, give yourself a win. Slogging away with nothing to show for it can be draining, to say the least. You're marching headstrong toward a large end goal, but it's taking longer than expected, or it wasn't exactly what you thought it might be. Find a way to give yourself a small victory, a victory that can be proof that the work you've put in wasn't for nothing. There's nothing too big or small for this quick win. It could be a tangible victory like using some money from a raise or bonus to buy back some time by outsourcing a task that you dread. Or treat yourself to some self-care, like a massage or that new pair of shoes that you've been eyeing. These could be symbols of your victories. Or it could be less tangible. Write down 10 things that you're grateful for in your life, or 5 lessons that you've learned that might just be your roadmap out of the burnout. Write it down for easy reference and reminders. Number 3, do something easy. Forget advice to do the worst first. Go for the easy stuff. Look at your list of tasks or projects and pick whichever one calls to you. It doesn't matter if it's the most urgent or the most important. Its only requirement is that it feel easy and not forced. Staying in easy motion can clear the brain fog or prevent the burnout from leading to buffering and avoidance. Clarity comes from taking action. So you can find some momentum to reignite the spark that energized you in the first place, or pay attention to the task that you chose and why it felt so easy compared to the rest. Number 4, make time for rest. Be gentle with yourself. This is not the time to push for more and more. Ask yourself what you need, just like you would a best friend going through a hard time. Then give yourself that gift. You do not need permission to rest. You do not need to do just one more thing to earn it. Rest can look like many things: a spa day, or a long bath, or cutting out early for some sunshine and a walk with your dog, or rescheduling other plans in lieu of an evening lounging on the couch. You can decide what you need that will reduce the mental load that you're feeling. Number 5, get clear with what you want. So now we're getting to the tough stuff, the strategies that require a little extra life reflection. Look at where you are now, your job, your house, your relationships, how you're spending your time, how you feel most days. Is it all truly what you want? Is the currency that you're paying with burnout worth what you currently have? If the answer is yes, your burnout solution will be focused on finding what you can do to continue down your current path with a little more ease. You could keep the job, but find a way to work fewer hours. You could pick up that journaling habit to find some gratitude for what you have. Or you could look for a way to find an extra hour each week that's just for you. If it's not worth the burnout currency, some pieces of life might need to change. Look to where you can reduce things in other areas of your life to reduce the pressure causing the burnout. Consider a new career path. Evaluate expenses to reverse some lifestyle creep, or rethink time commitments that you previously said yes to. This strategy is not an afternoon activity. It's best over a few days or a week of self-reflection to be realistic and honest with yourself about what you really want in life. Number 6, say no to yourself. We'll keep this one short and sweet. You are the CEO of your life. You are in control of the demands and expectations you are putting on yourself. Where do you need to tell yourself no? You just aren't going to be able to get that thing done today. You need a personal day. You need permission to turn something in late. Be a good boss and listen to your best employee when they're telling you it's too much. Number 7, be skeptical of ASAPs. When everything is a high priority, nothing's a priority. If everything gets labeled as ASAP, it devalues any other request with that same label. The stress and urgency of too many false ASAPs can lead to burnout trying to keep up with it. So, are you the culprit of the false ASAPs? Be mindful of your urgent requests and question whether that label is completely necessary, or if you can give yourselves and others a little more breathing room. When someone else comes to you with an ASAP, push back. Ask questions. Look for pieces that are urgent and other pieces where there's more room to breathe. This is also a great area to lean into your weekly planning practice, where you can approach your day with a clear head and avoid unfocused fire drills. You can check out the link in the video description for my Never Work Overtime Again time management course to get you started. Number 8, think differently. This is another strategy that's not a quick afternoon fix. Watch how you're thinking. The stories that you tell yourself become your reality. Not every thought that you have is worth listening to or even believing. I just finished reading a book called Soundtracks by John Acuff, and he recommends the practice of thinking everything is always working out for me. So go through every day trying to find evidence to show this thought as true. Did that meeting get canceled, giving you an extra hour to wrap up the marketing plan early? Or did you catch and fix a glaring typo right before the big presentation? Or did you get the last cinnamon roll at your favorite bakery? Everything is clearly always working out for you. As the evidence piles, you'll get more confidence that your path out of burnout is possible. It will work out. It always does. Number 9, consider anything can change. If you've decided some things need to change to get you on the other side of burnout, be open to what's on the table for change. Rethink your non negotiables. Sometimes we hold on to certain beliefs or commitments out of habit or even fear of the unknown. Challenge those assumptions and spend some time imagining anything and everything being different. It could be your daily routine, your career, your relationships. Nothing is off limits. Think outside of the box. Think small tweaks or radical shifts. Anything can change if you're willing to envision a different future and take action to make that future a reality. Finally, number 10, ask for help. Asking for help can feel like showing weakness. We're conditioned to believe that we should be able to do it all. So when reality hits and you can't, you feel weak. But when burnout takes over, it's time to call in some backup. Asking for help is a sign of courage and self-awareness. It takes strength to acknowledge when you're struggling and to take action to get yourself out of it. If you decide not to call in backup and ask for help in certain areas, that means that you are consciously choosing where your time goes, which means you can unchoose as well to decide where your life might need to shift to get yourself out of burnout. Burnout is not just public meltdowns and midlife crises. Burnout can creep into your life unnoticed. Recognizing burnout can be a challenge when you're conditioned to believe stress and fatigue are an acceptable part of the daily grind. It can be easy to dismiss the warning signs. Stay mindful of the symptoms of burnout so you can catch it earlier and be proactive with deploying a strategy to solve it. Burnout may be sneaky, but it's not unbeatable. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like or leave me a comment letting me know which burnout relief strategy you're going to try. And if you want more time management secrets like this one, let me know by subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to check out the Never Work Overtime Again time management course in the video description, and have a fabulous day. I feel crooked. Make time for rest. Anyone hear that screaming? Heat just went off. Better try that again. To pure. No. That's not a word I use. An extra hour to rock and breathe. And gosh, so you can check. Oh my gosh. Words are hard.